That was really good.
That was really good.
That was a really good.
You're not gonna ask me to follow that.
It's just good.
We are here with Kevin Hart, founder, chairman of HARTBEAT, and Thai Randolph, CEO of HARTBEAT. Thank you guys for coming into the Variety Studio here at Cannes. So, Kevin, you've been named the Cannes Lions Entertainment Person of the Year.
Yes.
And that's just because you are the hardest working dude I know.
I'm very honored. It is a badge of honor to even be in a group of, I guess you could say, a long list of hard workers. To be highlighted in any way, shape, or form is dope as hell. So to be here, to be celebrated, and also have the opportunity to align myself with my company and really just further extend the opportunity to embody the world of relationships, and amplify those that we've yet to partner with.
I mean, your company in 2022 released 20 projects across TV, film, audio. As of July, HARTBEAT will have already released 16 projects this year, and you got more than 70 projects in development, including The Backup with Keke Palmer, a new workplace comedy from Brad Copeland, called The Regal, right? And Black Karen, which I really am interested in, from a script by Daniel Nicolette. How do you, in running this company and in building this brand, how do you decide what projects go forward and what don't? I mean, it's an issue that every single company in the business has. How do you triage that? How do you, whiteboard it or whatever you do?
Well, first, it's not just us. So we have a brilliant team of executives on the studio side. HARTBEAT Studios is the division that produces all of our content. It's helmed by our Chief Content Officer, Brian Smiley. And we just have some amazing talent across film, TV, scripted and unscripted. We're doing a lot in the doc space too. And, fortunately for us, we partner with some of the biggest names in entertainment, right? So we're partnered very deeply with Netflix on the feature side. We've been doing some amazing things with Peacock on the unscripted side. We've got a multi-year partnership with Roku, on the audio side, SiriusXM and Audible. And, what that's allowed us to do is be, really agile and versatile with sort of like right piece, right place. And so it all starts with story. And then, what do we find a compelling story to tell? Then we figure out the right format for the story. So is it going to be a podcast? Is it going to be a film, at least at first exploitation? And then we figure out the right home. And so the team, the diverse partnerships across distribution has been sort of how we decision all of that.
Yeah. What makes something a HARTBEAT thing? Like, what puts the stamp of?
Relatable material. We look for things that we feel people can respond and relate to. Ultimately, our foundation is built off of humor. We love comedy, and that acts as the backbone, right? That's the driving factor and engine to our infrastructure. So the things that we feel people can laugh, resonate with, ultimately have a high level of feel good, where those act as great content pieces for our brand. So whether that falls in line with what we're doing in television, film, in our scripted or unscripted space, it's pretty much what our appetite, what feeds our appetite. And to Ty's point that she was making earlier, it's not just us. We have an amazing team of creators that are very bullish and going out, finding these unique opportunities for us to embark on, and that's also finding, old material that we can turn into IP. As a studio, we are looking to build a catalog, and that catalog is one that we want to have a high level of ownership in. So you have to be very active in your creative engine as to what you're doing and why. So having a definition underneath your umbrella is very important. I think we have that.
And to add to that, just that definition, when we sum it up, we talk about humor, heart, and heat. So our mission is to keep the world laughing, so we're kind of funny first. Heart, we tell stories grounded in human truths that bring lots of people together that folks can relate to. And then heat, we try to give it some viral value, right? Why care, why share? So the right talent behind and in front of the camera, right? We find the right distribution partners. That's the sauce.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, I remember you turned an Instagram, you had a series on Instagram. I think it was during the pandemic, and you turned that into like a more full-fledged series, right? I mean, you've got a huge following on Instagram. What does that do, for you, for your company's brand? I mean, is it really direct? You speaking directly to these people who love what you do, right?
I mean, look, I'm an example of what our company can be, right? We are trying to mirror the bandwidth, the outreach that I've been able to obtain through the years of my success, right? Very fortunate blessed I am to have achieved a lot of the stuff that I have in my career. But the priority now is to figure out a way to do the same thing from a company perspective, right? We pride ourselves on having a global outreach bandwidth, and that's through our distribution pipeline partnerships that expand throughout our portfolio. So, I can say that the example that I present is just one of inclusivity, right? Being a brand that truly engages and reaches all. We pride ourselves on practicing what we preach and being an example of what we want to see, right? We are. Our company is extremely colorful. We are, I can say like just a very clear perception of what the business of entertainment is now working hard to change into. We've been that for quite some time. So I can say the conversation that is now is one that we've been privy to from the early stages. So it's a good feeling to see. It's very good to see people catching up to what we've been and what we are from day one. So, the outreach that Kevin has, I would challenge people to look beyond that now and just understand that the company is a bigger view, a bigger perception of what I now am, right? That's the pride, that's the joy, that's the 1,000%. It goes into that machine.
Ty, how would you describe the company culture?
Yeah, so Kevin's the chairman of the company, but also, pun intended, the heartbeat, right? So I think so much of the energy and the pulse and the sort of like relentless pursuit of what's new and next and right now, he sort of sets the pace for. And if you follow him on Instagram or any place else, you can see how busy that is and the growth and the expansion that we've seen from the merger that you talked about to the capital raise. We've doubled revenue year over year the past couple of years. We've expanded EBITDA and the volume of projects, the velocity with which we create those projects, but also just the ethos of the company. We really do exist to keep the world laughing together. And while we're serious about business, we always say to our team, if we want to make people feel good on the other side of content, we have to make people feel good while we're making it. Absolutely. And to Kevin's point about the diversity piece, that's been by design because our mission is to keep the world laughing. So we've tried to organize an organization that is really reflective of the world. We are over 70% people of color. We are just a little over 50% women. And it's a young group of brilliant executives, and so it's high energy and a lot of work and a good bit of play.
Free snacks in the kitchen?
Don't ask him about that. He's always asking me how much everything costs.
All right, scratch that one. So we're at Cannes Lions. The last question here is, it's a celebration of creativity. Whatever that means to you. So what does that mean to you? And what inspires you creatively? What gets your creative juices flowing, Kevin?
Well, one, when you say a celebration of creativity, it should be celebrated. I don't think there's anything more exciting, more fun, and more unique in today's time, right? Especially when you're talking just about entertainment. The way the stories get told, the way that brands get amplified, the way that products get sold is all through the creative juices and engines of personnel on the outside, right? How do we think? How do we better position ourselves to show the value of our partner and be valuable in return? For us, it's what we pride ourselves on. As we talked about comedy, as she talked about the humor, the heart, the heat. Well, how do we serve a valuable purpose in telling the stories that brands want us to tell and add humor to it? How do we not overlook but really overstand the power of comedy? And you do that by attaching it and grounding it to the concepts that people have no idea that it can be attached to. That's where HARTBEAT finds a very unique stance and position in today's business. And as a ecosystem that provides and does so much, unique storytelling is a key component to the through line of our business. So it's something that we highlight, it's something that we embrace, and it's something that we make sure people understand that we do very well. So as you talk about the extension and the bandwidth of HARTBEAT, just understanding that it's grown through the relationships that we've been able to obtain, but more importantly, secure by positioning ourselves to talk on their behalf in a very unique way that only HARTBEAT can.
And
That was really good.
That was really good.
That was really good.
You're not going to ask me to follow that.
It's just good.
All right, we'll leave it there.
No, Ty. Ty, don't cheat, Ty. Say something cool. Punctuate it, Ty.
This is what I'll say about creativity, right? Being here at Cannes Lions, it's so inspiring because so much of what's happening here is what we're creating and growing at HARTBEAT, right? You see brands and you've got fans and talent, and in this sort of like, this sort of mixing bowl, right? And what at HARTBEAT we're trying to create is a playground for brands and streamers and platforms and audiences and content creators and talent partners to come together and do what we feel is one of the fundamentals of comedy, right, is improv. So everybody brings a truth to that situation. Everybody brings a set of circumstances, and it's yes and. Yes, we acknowledge what you're coming with, and then the and is where the magic is, right? That's where the creativity is. What can we build together? How can we all add to that experience to create something that's really valuable, that's really surprising, that's really delightful?
Oh, excellent.